Hello, I'm George Lemnaru. I'm founder and CEO of Green Horse Games. We're building mobile games from the concept. So we come up with the idea, we develop them, and we publish them. We market them. So we're trying to be as much as independent as possible with no publishers and so on. Talking about being independent, we are part of Miniclip since around 3 years ago, and we still behave like an independent studio. And Miniclip is helping us a lot. Before Alina speaks, I want to mention the fact that Alina was present in most of the board meetings that we had before being part of Miniclip on behalf of Catalyst. So I'm happy to have her in this panel because she's one of the most competent investors in the gaming industry.
Wow, powerful introduction.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me here. It's a pleasure. Honestly, we've also done a ranking in Catalyst Romania, and we've decided that I'm the one who played the most games, so this is why I'm here. I think I started that like at least 25 years ago, and I'm very happy to be here. And yes, as George mentioned, I'm part of the Catalyst Romania team. I've joined the fund 8 years ago. Green Horse was already invested, and it was a pleasure to be part of it. And I'm sure you know a lot about George and Green Horse, but I would also like to mention a few things about Catalyst because maybe you are not that aware of what we are doing. We are a venture capital investment fund. We've initially launched our first fund in 2012. It was a first rock that was thrown by EIF on the Romanian market, trying to somehow start the venture capital ecosystem. We have had a first fund of 15 million euro, pretty small, and we've managed to make 10 investments. At that time, we were targeting global challengers and local leaders, and among the companies we've invested are SmartBill, which we've also announced last week that we've exited. We've invested in Avocatnet, in Vola.ro, and Green Horse, who's on the global challengers side. I'm not allowed to disclose any confidential information, but Green Horse was one of the most successful investments that we've had from many perspectives, both from a team perspective, from a growth perspective, and also from an exit perspective. It's been a company that we've had in the portfolio for 6 years, and it's been a pleasure to work with the entire team throughout the years. And now we also have a new fund, and this is why we are actually here. We have a new fund that we launched in 2020. It's a 50 million fund this time, and we are also targeting to make about 16 investments. We've already done so with Seedblink, of which you might have heard of, Seedblink, SAX, Evomag, and we have also some international companies. And gaming continues to be of our interest.
Thank you. And you are one of the relatively few people who invest in games in Romania, unfortunately. I have some questions for you. So, just keeping in mind that, as I said, there's relatively little investment being done in games in Romania by Romanian investors. For the sake of our audience here, maybe you could just briefly talk to us about the different types of investors that are present in Romania. Just let's call it investment 101 type of thing. So, and what is the difference between, for example, angel investors, VCs, private equity, just for the people in the audience to have clarity on what each of these investor types do, and so that they can understand better what you are looking for as an investor?
Yes, so I will refer only to Romania because normally seed round in Eastern Europe can be much lower than a seed round in the UK, for instance. So just talking of Romania and levels of investment, I would say that the smallest or the first layer would be, besides the 3Fs, the friends, the family, and the others. The next level would be business angels. And luckily in Romania we have a very nice community. And actually when we entered Greenhorse...
Welcome, Alin. Please go on.
When we invested in Greenhorse, this was one of the main advantages that the company had. The fact that they already had a business angel there. It's Malin Ștefănescu, who in the meantime also became the president of Tech Angels, and he's a person with a lot of experience in the tech industry. And seeing that the company has already managed to attract capital from a business angel was great, because we knew that there was a trust that was already built there. Business angels can invest anywhere between a few tens of thousands of Ks up to maybe hundreds of Ks. After the business angels, now in Romania you can also see the crowdfunding industry that it's starting to build up, and Seedling is amazing for bridging somehow the capital that exists between the high net worth individuals and the new startups that are trying to raise capital. And I recommend to you that you try the platform, because gaming could be a very good listing from this perspective, because it's managing to attract the trust of the many, and gaming can do that. It's one of the industries that can do that. On Seedling, for instance, tickets can range from a few hundreds of thousands up to millions. I think the biggest listing was in the range of 1.5 to million euro. And then we have the venture capital funds, where we are. We consider ourselves an early stage growth capital fund. Our average ticket right now is 2 million euro for a minority participation. And on the next layer is private equity. They usually are interested in attracting a bigger shareholding, usually a majority compared to us, and the tickets are in the range of millions.
Thanks so much. And since Alin just joined us, thank you, Alin.
Hi everyone, and apologies for the delay. You know, funnily enough, I'm coming from a conference that was on private equity. You know, serious guys with a lot of money. They were 1 hour delayed in the program, and I was in the last panel. And you're here in the entertainment industry, you're right on time.
Thank you for that. But yes, particularly here at Dev.Play, we're very tight on the scheduling. But thanks for making it. Appreciate the effort. Maybe just like 1 minute introduction on your part, and maybe we can continue from what Alina was saying, and you can talk a little bit about your perspective on the Romanian games industry and opportunities for investment, and on the profile of a potential studio that you'd be looking to invest in.
All right, thanks again for having me, Catalin. I'm Alin Stanciu, I'm a partner in Catalyst Romania. We're right now acting on the second fund. I'm an engineer as a background, so I can feel you, all the engineers in the room. What can I say? Probably my colleague Alina has already mentioned the few verticals we're investing in, what we like, what we don't like, and probably we should be discussing about what we don't like at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is for the, we have some people, so look, you were not here yesterday, but we talked a lot about we talked a lot about the difficult climate that we have now in games, and how money is difficult to find. So, you know, the fact that there is actually an opportunity for investment that is here in Romania for studios that are from Romania or Eastern Europe in general, and maybe you can clarify if you also invest in the region or just Romania. I think that's amazing, and we should talk about, you know, what types of companies are you looking for, especially when it comes to gaming, and what are things that people should keep in mind of do's and don't do's?
All right, so look, Catalin, I'll be straightforward. So first of all, like in AA meetings, I'm not a gamer. I don't play games, so that's one of the problems we have in the venture capital, because we're usually, except my colleague who's younger, but we're usually in our 50s. And the last game I played was, I don't know, called Chucky. I don't know if any of you got it at some point. So we don't really understand the industry. We, as a venture fund in Romania, as a venture investor, we're agnostic. We cannot be specialized in one particular niche or vertical. That's the problem with having a fund that's dedicated to Romania. And like us, there are a handful of funds in Romania, all with the same, let's say, investment thesis, so they have to invest in Romania. And you cannot build expertise on, let's say, health tech, not to mention about gaming. Health tech, which is closer to us, let's say. So we're not really specialized in gaming, and whenever we face a gaming opportunity, a studio, company, a title, we have the same questions that we are using when meeting a SaaS founder, right? So we're always looking for, okay, what's the, I don't know, the lifetime on your product? What's the recurrent revenues? And these usually are questions that cannot be asked by gaming studios, right? Because they don't necessarily have the same structure of revenues as most of the companies we're investing in. So they don't really have recurrent revenues, they don't have longer lifetimes. Just for you to understand, we're acting on a capital that's been, let's say, put in the fund by different investors, us included. But they are all looking for one thing, to give a good, let's say, multiple on their money, right? A good payback at the end of the fund. And the fund is 10 years long, and all the funds are usually at least 10 years long, plus some 1-2 years extension. So what we're trying to do is to multiply the money as fast as possible, and in order to do that, we need to have some clear forecasts. And here I'm reaching to another problem that the gaming companies or gaming studios have. They don't really have a perspective for the next 3, 4, 5 years. We want to stay invested in that company, let's say 4 years, 5 years, and get out of the company with 5x the initial money we invested. And these are particularly issues that make a venture capital firm not to be comfortable in investing in gaming. And here I'm referring to companies like us, which are not specialized.
But yet you do invest and have successfully done so. So what was the ingredient? What convinced you to invest in Green Horse, for example?
We're bragging a lot with George's success, to be honest, and in reality he has delivered, basically he has delivered the fund at some point, so it was the best exit in our history in terms of multiple. Unfortunately the investment was quite small, but he's the real home run that every, let's say every venture capital is looking for. Neither myself or Alina were in the investing team at that point. So regarding this question, I think George might know more than us. What I can tell you is that we're still looking on companies that are somehow similar to what George has built. I mean, companies that already have some titles that are launched and prove some traction. So we need to see this track record. For once, of course, stellar team and all the blah blah that everyone's saying, but you need a strong team behind the product. And then that company should develop a new product, like it was the case of with Green Horse, in which we could put money. So we're a bit more restrictive in this matter, but we're still able to find the right opportunity.
So if I'm understanding correctly, you're looking for companies that already have revenue. So you're not investing in pre-revenue companies.
We as a thesis, we cannot really invest in
Okay.
pre-revenue companies.
Yeah, I think it's important
even,
to
even
clarify.
if the revenues are coming from a side project or from I don't know, a different background in the company, we still need to see some revenues and of course some traction on the new product. It's a riskier. That's why it's called venture, but again, it's possible, it's doable.
No, but it sounds like free-to-play, whether it's mobile or other platforms, free-to-play is a better fit for you as an investor, also considering the experience with Georgia. So, any free-to-play companies looking for investment, talk to these guys.
Yes, come to us. We'll stick around for a while.
If I may, even if in normal or in traditional investments, we would definitely look at revenues. I think it's important to say that for gaming specifically, also KPIs are very important. And in this particular industry, you can also talk about daily active users. You can also talk about how much retention you have. So even if it's not revenues, if a company would come to us and have, I don't know, 30K users daily that aren't yet monetizing, that would definitely be a number that would get our attention. So specifically because we know that gaming is a bit different than SaaS, like Alin said.
Yeah, thank you. I'd like to switch a little bit and ask George. You know, he is a very experienced entrepreneur. He raised money multiple times. George, why did you go for, you know, the equity funding route? What made that the right solution for you? And also, maybe you can answer the previous question. What was how did you convince Catalyst to give you the money in the first place?
So just to continue what Alin and Alina said, the fact that Alin said they're not investing in companies that are not yet making money shouldn't stop you from contacting them, because when you contact them, you might get several benefits. One is advice. Second of all is connections, because they might not invest you now, but they might connect you with angel investors that are suited to you, the level of the company. And third of all is an investment is like a relationship, like a marriage, and it's not a one-night stand. So you build that relationship in time, and if you know those people, and those people know you since at least a few months, maybe 1 year before you sign a deal, that's an extra advantage. You build trust during that time. So I strongly encourage you, if you're serious, if you're quite advanced with your idea, with your concept, but you're not at revenue model, to contact them. Why to get investment? If you're talking about my case with Catalyst, I had experience. I had previous experience with getting investment, so I knew the hard things and also the good things about getting investment. And I'll start with the hard things. I'll try to be as short as possible. Getting investment, it's a time. It's a very costly process in terms of time. It moves your focus towards meeting many people. Most of them, you will not get any benefits. Some of them will give you advices, which will be valuable. Some of them will give you connections, and some of them might be even come up with money with investment. Then getting investment, it's a process like includes lawyers, includes negotiations, and then afterwards you have some money, but also you have the legal and moral obligation for those people that invested in you to make that investment profitable. That's very clear. No matter what they say, they might be polite. Alin was very honest, saying we're looking for 5x return, that's for you. It should be the sky is the limit. Some investor might tell you, well, we would like to invest in new people, in great people like you that want to move the world. That's bullshit, or mostly is bullshit. In reality, they are they're investing, so they make more money, and that's okay. That's normal. That's the thing that you have to focus to in order, first of all, for your company to survive and flourish, because without money you will not be able to acquire more players to grow your team, and also it's normal for your investors, for the shareholders of the company, for your company to make money. So we shouldn't be ashamed of making money. So those are the challenges. Why I still got investment? Because time is short. We're not in our 20s, 30s, 40s too much. And getting an investment, it might save you a lot of time and go faster to where you want to go. So that's the reason why I raised money. Before doing that, before signing the deal, there was at least 6 months of discussions, of talking about my plans, of getting feedback, so that I really meet and build trust with those people, because it's not only that you have to prove that you're a worthy investment, but also they have to prove that they will be the right partners in long term. And in the end, why Catalyst invested in Green Horse Games? From what I've been told, there are 2 reasons. The main reason was related to the fact that we were making decisions about gameplay, and not only about strategic and tactical decisions in our company. And it was very objective focused, KPI driven, and as much as possible based on metrics. And also, I was very sure that as a company will be successful, I always doubted my tactics. You might have an idea that sounds great. The worst thing is to blindly believe in that idea. So it's always check constantly your idea, if that is a good idea. You look at numbers, you look at feedback, so you can when you go get that feedback and those numbers, to adapt that idea, improve it, or even change to a different idea if that is not the right one. So that was one thing that impressed the investing team about the way we're making decision. And also it did help a lot the fact that I did have previous experience with gaming startups.
And also, if I may add, I don't know what was the drive for the initial investment, but I know what impressed us during the investment period with George and the other team members, and that was the resilience. Because the final game, which was also the most successful one, was not a first try after Liga Ultras. So in between, I think there were like 5 or 6 games that we constantly saw that were launched, because we were talking about them in the board meetings, and that didn't return the expected results. So yes, I think we've had a few that reached maybe a few tens of thousands of users, and they were promising, and then in 2 months they were not promising anymore. One of the things that was why George was very lucky, and the company itself and us from a perspective, was that Liga Ultras continued to be a cash cow, I would say, and it provided enough cash resources for the company not to burn too much cash, and that was a very big advantage for the company. Otherwise, an advantage that he could have had because we were there was that we could provide additional capital if needed. Because once we are in a company, most likely we will support it until we manage somehow to reach a final conclusion. And in George's case, I think that was impressive. The fact that he knew when to stop a game and he knew that he, together with his team, they are able to restart and retry.
Thank you for those insights. One final question for George before we go to the audience for questions. Look, some people are concerned when they have to give a part of their company to an investor. From your experience, because you've done this a few times, how do you know when it's the right fit? How do you know that you're inviting the right people into your home, basically?
Well, in that period of time in which you speak with that person, with that investor, and you talk about your plans, you present where you are, and that's from my point of view, should be at least 6 months. You start to get some signals. One good signal that you can hear from an investor is honesty. Like Alin said earlier, we don't understand games. And you don't know how valuable is this kind of discourse that an investor can have. Because the problem with the games, with gaming in general, is that, men have the opinion that they know everything about politics, football, and women. And I can add also games to that. And the worst thing that it could happen is that in your board meetings, you talk about game design with your board members. And what I really appreciated the fact that from the start, Marius Ghenea from Catalin, he said, we don't understand games. That's George and the team's job. We're here to talk about strategy and about business. So what Catalin managed to bring to us is focus on the things that they were good at. Corporate governance, which I don't have the experience, I didn't know how to do it, so they're there to support us on that. On the deal with Miniclip, they were there, they added like actual extra, they increased several times the value of that deal because of their experience. And I can add that also with Miniclip, the same thing happened. The discussion with them, like, how can we help? We don't understand your games better than you do, so you're the most competent person to build value. Still on the, finance part, on those things that we usually hate as game developers, they're there to support us. So talk with them, be honest, because if you're not honest with your problems, fears, and hopes, you cannot expect for them to be honest, and because it's not normal and you cannot build a healthy relationship without honesty.
Thank you.